Hey everyone, this is kind of a different topic from what I usually cover on this channel, but it is related to our spiritual tendencies also, which usually is to go beyond our biology. This is specific to women and considering menopause. I saw a video on menopause. It actually says that in most species, the female will die after they are not able to reproduce. They actually die. There is no life after that. One of the podcasts on with Dr. Lisa Mosconi, who is basically a menopause doctor and all about biology. And she's one of the few women who has actually studied menopause as a phenomenon because not much studies exist. And I listened to the entire podcast, obviously, because it's relevant for me as a woman, but in general, it's a very interesting topic because, especially as a spiritual person who is living a spiritually aligned life, and I have not chosen to have a family and all that stuff. It is very interesting when I listen to these kind of podcasts which deal with biology or even genetics. Like there was another podcast by this Dr. Saad or something who speaks a lot about genetic realities in our life, and they just kind of open up a different window because it's like where we are with our spiritual thinking and where the biology and genes seem to be holding so much, so much power in our lives and human lives in general. So this particular video on menopause, it actually says that in most species, the female will die after they are not able to reproduce. Like they keep reproducing. And once they're not able to, they actually die. There is no life after that because like everything in the species has been created so it propagates. And in that sense, they're saying humans are actually unique because even after menopause, the women are alive and they can live fruitful lives. And one of the reasons being given is that from ages ago, what they called a hunter-gatherer time, the grandmothers basically needed to take care of their kids. And this is where the whole role of women beyond menopause, beyond reproduction becomes important from a biological perspective. I just found this whole thing so fascinating because for me, in my brain, and for the whole large number of women who haven't chosen to reproduce, in today's age, it is so common for women to be single, even men. So it is really fascinating that this whole aspect is being given so much of importance when they look at it in terms of biology. And especially it is important because in this video she talks about how the brain changes for a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women after menopause. And she basically does mention a lot of changes which happens for the negative, like the brain pretty much becomes a lot less capable. So it is quite scary in that sense, especially because it's almost like the biological markers are saying, oh, very less important. This person is now very less important. From a biological perspective, they're playing no role. So it made me think that this thing is reproduction is actually such a big deal from a biological perspective. And also from the human society perspective, from a social perspective as well, it is a very, very big deal, as we can already see prevalent in human society. And it makes sense because if biologically it is so important, then definitely it will have its impact in the human society and most people won't be able to go beyond it. And for me, it puts it into the perspective when Sadhguru has made these statement multiple times. He says that the women who choose not to have children in today's age should be given awards. And kind of makes sense to me because it is not, I think he means it partly from the population explosion perspective, but I am thinking just from the perspective of when this thing has been given so much importance from society perspective and from the biological perspective, and here we are very happily not indulging in that. It is, I guess, a big deal, or a bigger deal than I had anticipated, or rather a big deal from a different way. I had never really thought about this way. So for me as a spiritual sadhaka, it kind of put things into gave me a little different perspective onto the whole idea of Brahmacharya and of not choosing to get into that whole family side of things. And what it makes me wonder is that if biologically this is the role that has been given to reproduction in this human species, then when we talk about spiritual transcendence, should that not have some kind of biological marker, or is it that when we start getting into the spiritual realm, already they talk about all those bliss receptors and all the bliss starts flowing into the body and all those things. So maybe if all those things do happen because a sadhana is bringing its fruits, then all of these biological markers kind of start behaving differently. And obviously these doctors and all the research and all will only talk about it when they get enough of those people to do a study on and study this properly. Like if we were to take a specific subset of yoga practitioners, specifically women beyond their reproductive age, and if we were to see what impact these various biological parameters are having, I think it would be very fascinating. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's a little different, but I thought it was very fascinating, especially for the women out there. What do you all think? Since you watched so far, just letting you know that I have some premium content for members of this channel only. It is stuff that is too sensitive or specific and I'm not comfortable sharing in public. So if you are interested, do check out the membership tabs for all the exclusive content that I have out there.